Every single home that closed in Golden Beach over the past 3 years sold below the asking price. Everyone. 24 transactions, 0 at ask, 0 above ask. 100% of sellers left money on the table. The median discount was nearly 16%, which in this market translates to about $1.4 million. This is the third video in our series on Golden Beach. In part 1, you learned what this community is. In part 2, you learned where the money sits and why the land is worth more than the house. Links to both are in the description. Today, we open the transaction data, and the story it tells is not the one sellers want to hear. Stay until the end, because the supply trajectory we are going to show you will change how you think about timing your offer or your listing in this market. We analyzed every transaction in Golden Beach over the past 3 years. 78 listings, 24 closed sales, and every data point that sits between the day a home goes active and the day it closes. This is the deal-by-deal picture that does not show up on Zillow. If transaction-level analysis is the kind of real estate content you actually use, hit like. It tells us to keep running the numbers instead of the drone. In 2023, 15 homes listed, 9 closed. That is a 60% close rate. By 2025, 29 homes listed, 6 closed, 20.7%. Supply nearly doubled, absorption collapsed. Fewer than 1 in 3 listings now result in a sale. And here is where it gets structural. Only about 6% of Golden Beach has transacted through the market in this entire period. 392 homes, 24 closed deals. This is not a neighborhood with a slow quarter. This is a market where most homes never list, and most that list never close. The ones that do close are giving back nearly 16% from the original ask. The sellers who priced right still sold at significant discounts. The ones who did not price right are still sitting there. Optimism in this dataset is expensive. We run this kind of transaction-level analysis for communities across South Florida and the San Francisco Peninsula. Subscribe so you catch the next one.
Now, here is the part that matters if you are writing the check. Nearly 80% of closed sales in Golden Beach were all cash. At the $5 to $10 million tier, it is almost 90%. Bringing a lender to this market is not impossible, but it is the equivalent of bringing a bicycle to a car race. You will get there. Everyone else will get there first. The waterfront split adds another layer. We showed you in part 2 that the ocean does all the work on assessed value. In the transaction data, it does all the waiting too. Waterfront homes take twice as long to go under contract as landlocked homes. 230 days versus 114. The premium attracts fewer buyers, and fewer buyers means more time and deeper discounts. Oceanfront sellers gave back 19% on average. Intracoastal sellers gave back 11%. The most expensive exposure in the community has the weakest negotiating position. The intracoastal quietly holds pricing best. If you are shopping Golden Beach right now, tell us in the comments. Does this match what your agent is telling you? We are genuinely curious. 48 properties in Golden Beach have been listed and relisted without closing. Some are on their 6th or 7th attempt. The median property in this group has been cycling on and off the market for 5 years. The longest has been at it for over 22 years. These are not homes waiting for the right buyer. They are asking prices waiting for a correction that the owner has not yet accepted. For buyers, that is leverage. For sellers, that is the cautionary tale. And the pipeline is getting heavier. At the current pace, Golden Beach could see 50 or more properties competing for buyers by 2028. That is over 13% of the entire community on the market simultaneously. If close rates hold where they are, roughly 2/3 of those listings will not sell. Everything you just watched, the transaction data, the pricing patterns, the supply trajectory, this is the analysis our team runs before a client ever writes an offer. At Big Data Realty, our network of trusted realtors works every aspect of the transaction backed by this kind of market intelligence. For a full breakdown of how we work and what it costs, watch the video linked in the description. Here is what a smart buyer does with everything across all 3 videos. You know the land is the asset. You know the ocean commands a 3-to-1 premium. Now you know every seller in this market gives back at least 15%, Waterfront takes twice as long to close, and 80% of your competition is paying cash. Your offer strategy starts at the data, not the listing price. Target the relisted inventory for maximum leverage. Price your timeline at 7 to 8 months from listing to keys. And if you are a seller, the single most important thing the data says is this: price right on day one. The close rate for correctly priced homes is still strong. The close rate for aspirational pricing is effectively zero. 345 homes, 24 closed sales in 3 years, every one of them below ask. That is not a slow market. That is a market that rewards precision and punishes hope. Big Data Realty. We run the numbers. You make the call.